Today, we are going to learn a very simple way to draw a pumpkin, and it's going to look very three-dimensional and realistic, but it's actually super easy to do. So let's go ahead and get started. Find for yourself a pencil and eraser and a white piece of paper. Turn your white piece of paper in front of you so that is laying landscape, so across, not up and down the tall way. I'm going to use a Sharpie for this demonstration so that you can see what I am drawing more easily. Here we go. Find the top center of your paper. Go down about a ½ inch. And you're going to draw kind of a flat looking and bumpy oval. It does not need to be super smooth. You don't want it to be. This is where the stem of your pumpkin was broken off of its vine. So it's natural, organic, and kind of rough. The next thing we're going to do is draw about 2 inches down both sides. So now it kind of looks like a stool. Our next step is to draw what looks like the rings of Saturn, or a very flat plate around the bottom of the stem. I will start about halfway up the stem, come out and down a little bit like a very smooth sloping hill. And when I get about 1.5 inches away from my stem, I curve around like the rings of Saturn, come under the legs of that stool we were talking about without touching, and circle back with the same amount of space that I had on this side, on this new side now, and try to aim up to halfway up the leg of that stool, which is also across from where I started. Now I'm going to build my pumpkin. So I am going to start by using the legs of the stool lines as a guide, actually. And I'm going to draw my lines all the way down, almost to the bottom of the paper, but not quite. Here we go. I start on one side, and I'm going to draw down and very slightly out. And then as I get halfway down, I'm going to start coming back in. And this is very, very slight, almost unnoticeable. But what this is doing is creating a sense of a curve and three-dimensionality. When I get about 1/2 inch from the bottom, you can see I curved around, no corners. We want to keep it organic. And then I can stop right there and come up to underneath this leg of the stool. Gently come out and then come back in and connect to where I stopped. Yes, I know, it looks like an eggplant wearing a hat. Here come our next lines. So I'm going to start about 1 inch away from where I started my first line. I'm going to copy this nice smooth curved line that I see right here. And this time, staying parallel to it, I keep the same width as much as I can all the way down. Before I get to the bottom, I am not going to make the bottom of this section line up with the bottom of this one. I'm actually going to get down here to the bottom, and instead of making a swoop that comes back up, it's just going to curve straightish and then run into the side. We're not making a part that comes back up. So I'll show you again on the other side. It's going to be exactly the same, but a mirror opposite version. Staying parallel to the first line, down and around, curving in, and then coming across. So because this is higher than that, it makes it look like it is going to round out like that and give it that three-dimensional perspective. Okay, the next thing we're going to do is going to look really weird, but it will make sense later. We are going to give ourselves a nice wide area to fill in with a couple more lines. I love this because it throws you off and you think you're doing it wrong, but then later when you fill it in, it's magical when it works out. So here we go. I'm going to find the place where the stem meets the rings of Saturn right here. And I'm going to actually go up like a little hill, not too much. I don't go past the top of my stem. I go up gently, aiming towards the edge of the paper. I don't hit the edge, but then when I come down here, remember how we went across? We're gonna do the same thing here. And we end higher up with this line than that one. This is higher above the bottom of the page than that one was, or that one was. I'll do it again on the other side so you can see. So, starting on this side, you don't have to draw with me, you can just watch and then do it. Remember, you can always pause after you see a step on a video and then catch up. You know you can rewind if you didn't quite get it. There we go. These are absolutely not even, and that's okay, because pumpkins are organic. When they grow in a field, they grow lopsided, they have flat sides, they are weird and wonky, so just don't worry about it, go with the flow. Here we go. We're gonna add the next parts of our pumpkin. Find the side of your Saturn ring. You're gonna draw from the side of your Saturn ring, still going along with these types of lines right here. I'm gonna go out, and then I get halfway down, I start to curve in again, remember? And this time, I give it a nice little bend of a curve when I get right to this line. I'll show you again on this side. The side of the ring of Saturn, coming out, curving right when I get to the bottom. I know it looks so weird, doesn't it? But it's starting to take shape. Okay, let's do another one. Now I'm going to go up here to the spot that is halfway between this line and this line. Find that spot on the cap. So between here and here, that's your spot right there. You see that? On the other side, it would be about right here. You don't have to mark it, I'm just showing you. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna draw a line, and I'm thinking about dividing this section in half, and I'm going to just naturally kind of come down and aim towards the side of the pumpkin like this. Here we go. Sometimes this will hit halfway down the pumpkin. Sometimes it hits down here, the bottom of the pumpkin. It's fine wherever it hits, don't worry. It doesn't even have to match on the other side. I'll show you. I intentionally made that one stop higher than that one. You see that? That's okay. Okay, you ready? This is my favorite part. We're gonna add the last little element that makes it look three-dimensional. You've already drawn a really good pumpkin. You're going to aim for the part of the stem and make a little triangle right here. I'm gonna start here and make the slightest little hill that goes up, jumps over the stem, comes down on the other side. Imagine that's a very little hill right there behind that stem. And look at that, now you've made a three-dimensional pumpkin. Great job.